For me, yoga is all about connection, and you can take that however you like, but for me it's that connection to myself, connection to sort of my own inner wisdom, and to the other people in the room if I'm practicing in a group. I think yoga has, the traditional meaning of yoga is union, so it has the power to unite us with ourselves and just make us feel sort of connected with one another, which is really beautiful. So I guess yoga's kind of become a lifestyle in the modern world, and when I first started practicing, it actually wasn't very common. It was sort of a bit of a weird hippie kind of thing, but it's become really mainstream, which is so beautiful, because for me it's kind of like a way of life where we can live our highest self, we can find that well-being that we're looking for, and I think it's sort of that journey of self-awareness and self-transformation. I read a book when I was probably, 14 or so, called Autobiography of a Yogi, and that for me was just like, wow, yoga, like it sounded so cool, and I started practicing at my local studio, and just went along with a friend and loved it. I loved that it wasn't just an exercise class, it just had this whole deeper sort of almost spirituality, but without it being religious. It was, for me, it just felt like coming home. I did my first training over in India, so I went over and lived in an ashram and did like intensive yoga practices up to 4 hours a day of just the asana practice, and we're doing all the meditation and everything with that as well. So that was kind of my first dive into yoga, but I actually didn't intend to be a teacher. I just went and did that because I thought, I just want to immerse myself in it. And then I kind of just got almost forced into teaching. People were like, come on. And then for me, once I got over the nerves of teaching, I did really love it, because it was my ability to kind of share my own love for the practice. And since then, I think once you become a yogi, you never stop learning. So I've gone and done numerous other teacher trainings, with specializing in prenatal and yin yoga, yoga therapy, and so I've done a lot of trainings, but forever still learning. Look, it's so subtle, I guess. I guess it's that awareness that you cultivate within the practice. So you become a bit more conscious of your reactions, and probably you observe yourself a little bit more, so in relationship with other people even, you're kind of more conscious of how do I choose to act here, and I think it just has this ripple out effect. You start to think about how you take care of your body more, and being that yoga is about that unity and that connection, you start to see that we are all connected, and then how do we treat our planet, and sort of that it's all tied in. So I think it's kind of subtle, and but it does sort of ripple out into all aspects of life. There are lots of avenues. I'm not saying that yoga is the only way, but I think getting along and trying some classes and just seeing what you resonate with, really. Every teacher has a different way of teaching, and I think it's really important to find someone who kind of meets you where you are at on your journey. Just learn and test things out and follow what you like, really. So personally, I don't like to teach really gym kind of style yoga that you see in a lot of places, which is more kind of like the power strong styles, where I call it boot camp yoga, because there is a lot of that out there, and I think I like to stay more true to the traditional teachings of yoga, which is that it's not just the asana practice is one portion of the practice, and really teach some of more of the philosophy and integrate that into it as well, so that my classes, hopefully, I'm trying to just have, you know, a little space for people to come home to themselves and just, you know, even if they just want to lie in Shavasana or just lie in child's pose, it's about giving people different options to meet them where they're at, which is what I said before, and give different modifications or options to go deeper if that's where they're at. But yeah, just to kind of explore what the practice is for them. So I tend not to teach a really strong practice, but try to give a few different things that people can do. And yeah, I guess it's, if you want to label it, it's probably more of a hatha kind of style of practice. I do incorporate a little bit of the breathing and flowing into the classes as well. And then yeah, always finish with like a juicy Shavasana lying down at the end of the practice, and having that relaxation at the end, which I think is so important as well. Find balance.
Just kind of calm yourselves down a little bit, and you know, just...
We're all so manic, aren't we?
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah, I think the first thing is probably ease up on yourself, because I think there's so much pressure out there to be perfect, and I guess even what I try to teach in my class is that it's not about trying to find the ideal pose or get ourselves into any ideal shape, it's just honouring where we're at. So yeah, ease up, find some lightness, and just enjoy the journey with that. Breath for me is so important. I really am aware of when, you know, I'm stressed out, I'm sort of breathing up into the chest, and yeah, don't underestimate the power of one deep, full breath and breathing into the belly, or even just getting outside if you're feeling stressed and taking 3 deep breaths. I think is such a powerful practice. The other thing which I'm trying to practice more at the moment is just eating well. I think, you know, we can't function properly when we're living off crap food. And yeah, I think, you know, food contains prana, contains energy, so just like in the yoga practice when we're talking about breathing, bringing energy in, we've got to be conscious of bringing energy in through the food that we eat as well, so trying to eat fresh, locally sourced, you know, the closer it was to being in the ground, I guess, the more prana it's going to contain. So I do believe that, yeah, food can be your medicine as well. So my 3 things.